Gary, the final pre-season game is upon us against Eastleigh at home tomorrow. How would you assess the pre-season as a whole? Have you been pleased with the effort the lads have put in?
Yeah, it's been good. It's always a difficult time of year, I think, for the players coming back from the summer. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of testing, different things going on. I think we always try and go broader than that in terms of what we're getting into the players, the social element, building team spirit. So yeah, I feel like we've done a lot of different things. There's obviously new players come into the group throughout pre-season as well, but we feel like we're in a good place. One game to go, where players will get minutes. We'll work on certain things that we think we will need going into the season, and then next week it's preparation and playing for real.
How would this pre-season compare to previous pre-seasons you've done, not just here but at other clubs?
Yeah, I think everyone is different. I think you have to, understand the group you have, understand the new players that are coming into the group quickly. And like I said, I'm very much looking at the wider aspect of the team rather than just physical. I think often, you just think it's purely about getting the players fit and getting them ready physically. But we look at so many different things in terms of cognitively how the players work, how we analyse training, how we analyse games, giving that feedback to the players. We're recently working on leadership groups within the team, so there's loads of different things that we want to put in place to give the players everything they need to prepare for a 10-month season that, as we know from last year, has highs and lows, has different moments within the season where you need different tools to be able to deal with it. And this year we've covered a lot of things that we hope prepares the players for a really successful season.
In every single one of the games we've played over the summer, there's been some under-18s, there's been the PDP group as well, and some of the names you speak very highly of Liam Oakes, of Santino Hanaka. What is the future like for those players who we've seen featuring in the friendlies?
Yeah, it's brilliant. This club has been built around the academy, and to see Ollie Watkins score at the Euros and the success that we've had historically is incredible. We have at this moment in time a little bit of a lull in terms of first team players because of the sales of Archie and Josh last season, because of the kind of longer or more historic sales of Jay Stansfield, Alfie Pond, Ben Creseni, who's moved on again this summer. All the players would have been players that were kind of in our first team at the moment, but because they've went on to different things, we have not too many in the first team squad at the minute, and there is the risk that at some point that the great run that we've been on in terms of playing a academy player every game might go. But I think what we've shown over the summer is we are fully invested in the academy. We want to give young people an opportunity, but those players that you mentioned, Oaksey and the others, they're a little bit young to affect the group. The older ones like Pedro, Jake, Dino, Mitch, those PDP players, they will probably look at some point to get loans and to get experience, all on an individual basis. So I think what we know is the academy is a big thing. It's a huge part of what we do at this football club, and how we get those players into the first team. All take different paths, and like I said, whether it's loans, whether it's we get them into the team as younger players like Jake did last year. Everyone will work on an individual basis, but it's been great to see that the academy still has loads of good footballers and loads of potential for the future as well.
Just on a couple of players now we haven't seen much of. Mili Ali, I know he's played some games, but he's missed out the last couple. Has he picked up a slight injury there?
He got slight muscle injuries, hopefully training today and potentially could feature tomorrow. And that's been the case. I look at football across the board, and I see Man United have a lot of injuries at the minute. It's a challenging time where you're trying to push players, but you obviously have to keep them fit. And sometimes, like Millie, Sonny had a similar injury earlier, where it's it's a bleed in the muscle that, you know, takes 3 or 4 days to recover, and then the players are good to go again. And we're always, because we're working the players so hard, we're always right at the limit of that kind of risk factor in terms of pushing the players maybe slightly too far. But they've recovered well from that, and hopefully, like I said, Millie is available tomorrow.
Is that the case as well with Jay Bird? Obviously, he hasn't featured at all in any of the pre-season games.
Jay, we've tried to build up gradually, but he's picked up a knee injury. Don't know the full extent of that at the minute. So that's, you know, an injury that we can do nothing about in terms of it's not a muscle one. We always feel like we can try and control the muscle injuries as much as we can, but even that is challenging. But Jay kind of twisted his knee, so we'll get scans and see what the full extent of that is.
Looking at tomorrow's game and a potential team selection, is it about finding the balance between almost wanting to put out your best sides that might look very similar to the one that will feature against Rotherham, while also giving some of those younger players you mentioned some more minutes as well?
Yeah, look, I think a lot of teams will be different. I think what we have to remember is we're preparing for a 10-month season. We're not preparing for one game, so, you know, the Rotherham game will take care of itself when it comes. So the game will be, we'll pick players that need minutes, we'll pick players and combinations within the team that we feel might be combinations that we will look at moving forward. But most first team players will play in the game and play minutes in the game. Some are already, I think of Fitzy, Ben Purrington, even Sweens, I think is one of them, where Jack McMillan, they've played a lot of minutes. They don't need the minutes, which is a really good thing. Other players that have missed out, Jack Aitchison, Reece Cole, do need some minutes. So we'll assess that for every individual. We'll put the team out, like I said, with some thinking of how we want to play and the combinations within the team. But then it's a full week's training in Rotherham. You know, I've already said it to the players that I've not had to drop anyone yet, so everyone still quite likes me, I think. But that time comes next week where, you know, we have to pick a team and we have to understand that every player will contribute at some point over the course of the season. That might not be in the first game, but we need the whole squad to be ready to impact the game whenever they're called upon.
Players were obviously training on the pitch yesterday, and for many of them on Saturday it'll be the first ever time playing at SJP. How good will it be to be back at home once again?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It was brilliant to train there yesterday. Chaz and the grounds team have worked extremely hard on all the pitches to get them in good condition, so it was great to get out there, the players to get a feel of the surface, and the new players to see the surroundings, the changing room, and things like that. Obviously, fans in the stadium on Saturday will give them a different feel, but come Rotherham, hopefully it's a full house, then we'll see SJP in its kind of full glory, and the numbers and the noise that we bring on a match day is an amazing experience that I don't think the players will quite get it, but it will be good for them to get a feel for it this weekend.